Hi everyone! Have you ever been stuck in a situation where you had spent hours studying a topic but you didn't even get the main idea of that topic? You start to wonder what is wrong with yourself. You might be overthinking that you aren't smart enough, but maybe it was the learning strategy that doesn't work for you. In this presentation, we will be discussing about learning strategies and most importantly, the 9 high-yield instructional strategies that work and evaluation in English education. We have divided our presentation into 3 parts: the learning strategies, the 9 high-yield instructional strategies, and the conclusion. Let's begin with the learning strategies. What is learning strategy? Learning strategies are steps taken by students to enhance their own learning. Strategies are important for language learning because they are tools for active, self-directed involvement, which is essential for developing communicative competence. Appropriate language learning strategies result in improved proficiency and greater self-confidence. In short, learning strategies are specific actions taken by learner to make learning easier, faster, more enjoyable, more self-directed, more effective, and more transferable to new situations. Now it is time to explain the central features of language learning strategies. The features of learning strategies are summarized into 12 key features of language learning strategies as presented on the screen. Firstly, language learning strategies should appropriately be oriented toward the goal of communicative competence, allows learners to become more self-directed, expand the role of teachers, are problem-oriented, are specific actions taken by learners, involve many aspects of the learners, not just the cognitives, are flexible, support learning both directly and indirectly, are not always observable, are often conscious, can be taught, lastly, are influenced by a variety of factors. In addition to the key features of learning strategies, what are some kinds of learning strategies? If I ask you what is your learning strategy, will you be able to answer? Alright, I am going to be explaining some major learning strategies. According to Rebecca L. Oxford 2007, the strategies are divided into 2 major classes, direct and indirect. We can simply say that direct strategies means directly involving the target language, while indirect strategies mean without directly involving the target language. These 2 classes are subdivided into a total 6 groups. Those are memory, cognitive, and compensation under the direct class, metacognitive, affective, and social under the indirect class. Let's start the discussion about direct strategies. As I mentioned before, direct strategies are language learning strategies that directly involve the target language. There are 3 groups of direct strategy. Those are memory strategies, cognitive strategies, and compensation strategies. Although all direct strategies require mental processing of the language, but those 3 groups of direct strategies do the processing differently and for different purposes. Firstly, memory strategies such as grouping or using imagery have a highly specific function for helping students store and retrieve new information. Secondly, cognitive strategies such as summarizing and reasoning deductively enable learners to understand and produce new language by many different means. Thirdly, compensation strategies like guessing or using synonyms allow the learners to use the language despite their own large gaps in knowledge. Now that we have seen direct strategies, let's look at the indirect strategies. Indirect strategies are language learning strategies which support and manage language learning without directly involving the target language. Indirect strategies are useful in virtually all language situations and are applicable to 4 language skills. Indirect strategies are divided into 3 groups, which are metacognitive, affective, and social. Firstly, metacognitive strategies allow learners to control their own cognition, which is to coordinate the learning process by using functions such as centering, arranging, planning, and evaluating. Secondly, affective strategies help to regulate emotions, motivation, and attitudes. Thirdly, social strategies help students learn through interaction with others. Now that we have some ideas of learning strategies and their major classes, let's turn our attention to answer this question. To what extent are learning strategies teachable? To answer that question, we will be talking about the teachability of learning strategies. Learning strategies are easy to teach and modify. This can be done through strategy training, which is an essential part of language education. Even the best learners can improve their strategy used through such training. Strategy training must pay attention to learners' and teachers' attitude towards learners' self-direction. Strategy training is most effective and teachable when students learn why and when specific strategies are important, how to use these strategies, and how to transfer them to new situations. Due to the fact that language learning strategies are flexible, there is a great deal of individuality in the way learners can choose, combine, and sequence strategies. As a strategy trainer, the language teacher helps each student to gain self-awareness of how he or she learns, as well as to develop the means to maximize all learning experiences, both inside and outside of the language area.
After we talk about learning strategies, let's talk about 9 high-yield instructional strategies by Marzano and friends. But before we discuss further, take a look at this statement. An individual teacher can have a powerful effect on her students even if the school doesn't. Do you agree with this statement? What do you think? Written in Marzano and Friends' book entitled Classroom Instruction That Works, school made little difference in the achievement of students. Kalman and his colleagues concluded that factors affecting the differences in student achievement are the student's attitude, socioeconomic status, and home environment. Unfortunately, these all things cannot be changed by schools. On the other hand, individual teachers can have a strong influence on student learning, even in schools that are relatively ineffective. How to improve education is more by improving the effectiveness of teacher than by any other single factors. This book presents and exemplifies instructional strategies that have been extracted from the research base on effective instruction. Teachers can use these strategies to guide classroom practice to maximize the possibility of enhancing student achievement. Now, let's discuss every strategy. The first strategy is identifying similarities and differences. Research indicates that for different forms, comparing, classifying, creating metaphors, and creating analogs of this activity are highly effective. Identifying similarities and differences is explicit in the process of comparing. It is also critical to classifying. To illustrate, when classifying, an individual first identifies similarities and differences within a set of elements and then organizes these elements into two or more categories based on the identified similarities and differences. Creating a metaphor involves identifying abstract similarities and differences between two elements. Finally, creating analogies involves identifying how two pairs of elements are similar and different. The second strategies are summarizing and note-taking. Three important things in these strategies are: first, to effectively summarize, students must delete, substitute, and keep some information. Second, to do the first things, students must analyze the information at a fairly deep level. Third, being aware of the explicit structure of information is an aid to summarizing information. Note-taking is closely related to summarizing. To take effective notes, a student must make a determination as to what is most important, and then state the information in a parsimonious form. Researchers have conducted many studies on the effects of note-taking on student achievement. The third strategies are reinforcing effort and providing recognition. This set of instructional techniques addresses students' attitudes and beliefs. Belief in effort is clearly the most useful attribution. If you believe that effort is the most important factor in achievement, you have a motivational tool that can apply to any situation. It's obvious that rewards, particularly prize, when given for accomplishing specific performance goals, can be a powerful motivator for students. Students might use these rubrics to keep track of their effort and achievement on a daily basis for a week. The fourth strategies are homework and practice. The purpose of homework should be identified and articulated. If homework is assigned, it should be commented on. Mastering a skill requires a fair amount of focused practice. While practicing, students should adapt and shape what they have learned. The fifth strategies are non-linguistic representations. The generalizations that can guide teachers in the use of non-linguistic representations in the classroom are: a variety of activities produce non-linguistic representations, and non-linguistic representations should elaborate on knowledge. In simple terms, elaboration involves adding to knowledge. The next strategy is cooperative learning. 5 defining elements of cooperative learning. First, positive interdependence, such as a sense of sing or swim together. Next, face-to-face promotive interaction, such as helping each other learn, applauding success and efforts. Third, individual and group accountability, such as each of us has to contribute to the group achieving its goals. Fourth, interpersonal and small group skills, such as communication, trust, leadership, decision-making, and conflict resolution. Fifth, group processing, such as reflecting on how well the team is functioning and how to function even better. The 7 strategies are setting objectives and providing feedback. Teachers should create specific but flexible goals, allowing some student choice. Teacher feedback should be corrective, timely, and specific to a criterion. The 8 strategies are generating and testing hypotheses. Students should generate, explain, test, and defend hypotheses using both inductive and deductive strategies through problem solving, history, investigation, invention, experimental inquiry, decision making, and their conclusion. The last strategies are questions, cues, and advanced organizers. Cues and questions are ways that a classroom teacher helps students use what they already know about a topic. Cueing and questioning are almost always at the heart of classroom practice. Research in classroom behavior indicates that cueing and questioning might account for as much as 80% of what occurs in a given classroom on a given day. To what extent do the 9 high-yield instructional strategies go hand in hand with successful learning strategies? In order to succeed students' learning strategies, 9 high-yield instructional strategies can enrich the implementation of learning strategies since 9 high-yield instructional strategies cover many aspects in learning strategies. 9 high-yield instructional strategies have provided a lot of strategies which direct students to have higher order thinking skills, including communicative competence, as the aim of learning strategies. How relevant are the 9 high-yield instructional strategies with a powerful evaluation in English education? The 9 high-yield instructional strategies are relevant to a powerful evaluation in English education. Instructional strategies serve as a backbone for teaching, and when applied correctly can help students gain a deeper understanding of course material, encourage critical thinking, and improve students' achievement. All the strategies ease teachers succeeding the process of planning, teaching, and assessment. Along with profound and effective classroom management and proper school curriculum, 9 high-yield instructional strategies overcome school problems in improving students' achievement. Thanks for watching!